It was not. I mean, it's not designed to do what we expect it to
Exactly.
do. So that's-
Exactly.
the thing is, they're basic. I mean, we talked about self motivation. So how can you keep yourself self motivated for throughout your journey living?
Yeah.
And I think to do that you need to understand what living is. We create a reality again based on the narrative that you need to have somebody who loves you more than anybody else. That's number one. You need to have a career. You need to have finances. You need to have a house. You need to have kids. You need to have all of that. Now that's being sold to for down the line from generation to the next, and that's how we build that, and it's probably stored in our DNA now as an information, and that's the reality that we want to buy into. Now, some of us then, as part of their self-discovery or self-assessment, then try to unpack things, and then they realize, okay, relationships are not working out. Most relationships are, you need to redefine the institution of marriage. What is marriage? Again, marriage is a human construct.
Yeah.
It was designed. There are tribes around the world who don't buy into this narrative, who don't buy into this construct. So again, you have to have a big wedding. Well, that came from an idea, right? Oh, okay, there has to be a big wedding. There has to be a big birthday bash. So all of that is an expectation, a story, a narrative that gets told. And when the narrative, there is a gap and the narrative is ahead of you and you are thinking that, wow, I'm being left behind, you start to struggle. You think, well, I should be there. I should have I met some friends. We studied together and you see, oh, what I regret is I never had that big this and big that. I never had that big, birthday bash. I'll probably need to do that. Or big wedding, probably need to do that. And when you listen to them carefully, you kind of understand, so that's where your disconnection is coming from. This is where you want to be because this is where your society has told you should be. And you are here. So the dissatisfaction in your relationship is not coming because the other person is bad in some cases. It's because, and that's why I say, loving somebody is never the problem. Loving your own version of that somebody is always the problem. Because the way we see each other, look, for example, I can tell you, a lot of people who will watch this video will probably make a perception of you and me wearing the clothes that we are wearing.
Of course they will.
So they've already started to make a perception.
Yeah.
Oh, Balu is wearing that shirt. Maybe he should have. Oh, this is fantastic shirt. The other person will say, I don't like that shirt. Somebody will say, what is Sanjay wearing? It doesn't add up. So again, people are already making a persona in their own mind of who you are. But what I say to myself is, you don't like somebody. You like them for what you see in them.
Yeah.
And when I'm seeing somebody, I'm seeing a vision of myself in them. And all of it goes back to the relationship. So if you're not internally happy, if you're not internally secure, if you're not feeling that, I can be the person who will be happy, then, a relationship cannot make you happy. Money will give you a bit of security, but then you will get lost. You will start doing drugs. You will start doing all of that. And you probably know better than anybody else. So you deal with all of these people.
Yeah. And sometimes, when you look at, most of these businesses, so, we looked at, if you consider religion as a business, if you consider motivational gurus as a business as well, all of these things are, geared to make people feel good about themselves, make people secure in some way. It's again believing, faith. So when you feel that when I see this person, I'm happy, I'm safer. You have a leader, and if you're living in a country which has a strong leader, working for a company which has a strong leader, you feel happy, secure, and you're more productive. Otherwise, you always feel insecure. So the self-motivation, it goes two ways. So when you look at head of the family, we talk about this in family meetings, for instance, so you have a figurehead in the family, a role model for the children growing up, and how important children are brought up in a harmonious environment, because that is where the perception of their self and the image of their self is being formed. And if that is not formed well, then you can't expect them to have a full, comfortable view of themselves, because they always, the impressions are by other people, right? How do I know I'm good? Oh, so and so said this. My teacher said I'm good because I scored this many marks, or I drew this picture. But was I satisfied with my marks? Was I satisfied with my picture? Irrespective of what the teacher thinks, well, that's the issue, isn't it? So someone. I think I was listening to Ken Robinson. He's one of my favorite TED speakers, and he was talking about this little girl, sort of drawing a picture of something, and then the teacher said, "Hey, the paper seems to be blank. There's nothing there. What are you drawing?" She said, "I'm drawing God." Well, I can't see anything. Well, you'll see in a minute. It's coming. So the concept is that, well, you can't see God, but then the teacher is expecting whatever her or his vision of God is, but for the child, in blank paper could be God for anything that you know.
That's it. That's it.
So how do you sort of make somebody who's growing up in a culture understand the value of their self-image, concrete self-image, and then you can go into self-motivation, and when you talk about self-motivation, 2 or 3 things come to mind. I have a lot of people who want to lose weight, and they say, "Oh, I'm not motivated to diet." One, people who want to quit smoking or drinking or whatever, they say, "Oh, well, no, I can't do it." It's common things that you hear about, and are they motivated enough, or is it just habit? They just put something in, or they just have to reach out to the cigarettes. That's one basic level that we talk about. And then when you look at sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have the self-actualization as a need, the highest level of need. Maybe the stuff that we talk about and our audience maybe at that plane, where you're not really looking for your water because you've got that there. If you didn't have the water, you'd be probably going out and trying to dig the ground and look for some water. We don't have that problem. So we're thinking, we need to have a meaning to all of these things, And a lot of people in that are in that situation,
Yeah, look, it's a good line of inquiry. I think, meaning. Do I have a meaning? Do I have a purpose? Do I have this? Do I have that? And I like to have that conversation within myself, in my own mind. And sometimes you ask that question and you start laughing at yourself, and you say, this is so silly. The way, the day we came into being, the day we were born is the day we were also born with our failure. You mean that you will fail. You mean, in other words, you will die.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is, we are trying to be in a constant match.
Yeah. So in every day is one step close to that final day, if we call that as a failed day.
Yeah.
So when we talked about this company's failing, the minute the company is started, it is doomed to fail. But when it's going to fail is the question.
And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to postpone it for as long as possible. But what happens is, this is why I laugh at myself and I laugh at others also sometimes. Look, we create this, we have to have the dream. I am inspiring myself to become a billionaire, or I inspire myself to do this, do that. So it's interesting, we are creating meanings, because we know now science is getting better and healthcare is getting better, so we can kind of keep extending our eventual death. So we are, prolonging it for as long as we can. So we are thinking, now we have average life about 90 to 100 years. So let's see what we can do in a 90 to 100 years. And again, the whole idea of a year is created a human idea. A bird doesn't know what the year is. The earth doesn't care what the year is. The earth has been around for as long as it has been around. So then oh, okay, you're a 30-year-old, you're a 40-year-old, and you don't behave like a 50-year-old. And you think, okay, so what? How is a 30 or a 40 or a 20-year-old supposed to behave like?
Yeah.
So if you're a 15-year-old and you do, oh, well, he's a 15-year-old, so it's understandable. So you've created a norm. This is a normal behavior of a 15-year-old. And this is and if a 35-year-old behaves like a 15-year-old, that's an abnormal behavior. And I think we are struggling within ourselves.
Big time.
We are all struggling within ourselves, and that's why we struggle with our relationship. We struggle in our careers. We struggle in a society. We are angry. We are frustrated because we're struggling to figure ourselves out. Some people say, define yourself. How the hell am I supposed to define myself? What do I define? Oh, I will be a spiritual guru. Well, maybe I will down the road I'll say, no, it's not for me.
Yeah. Big questions. Yeah, wow. No, this is profound. Yeah, when you look at it that way, it is profound, And so I've had one person tell me that, when they have to draw their mind, it would be scattered. That's what they describe their mind, it is scattered,
Yeah, in the next one, we can discuss that.
Yeah.
I mean,